Hi there. It's nice to see so many people. Okay, I want to tell you what happened to me at SuperTarget. But first, let me set the stage. It's a March day. It's the cold rain, the kind that just makes you want to pull the covers up over your head and not get out of bed. We had a family member, distant one, that was dying. And I was feeling grief that went all the way back to the death of my mother when I was 15, and that was 40 years ago. And that's the thing about grief. It has a way of doing that, of coming back, and those waves that wash over you and you think, they're gone. Well, they have a way of going dormant, underground, until something happens, a death or a divorce or an illness. And then all of a sudden you're right back where you were, kind of like a plow in the ground that takes the dirt and just puts it up on top, and there it is. So that day I wasn't really even aware it was grief that I was feeling. I just knew that I felt grumpy and sad, and I had to go to Target. So, back to Target. So I put on my sweats, and I don't wear any makeup, and my hair needed washing, and I'm hoping I don't see anybody I know, but really I don't care. And I walk through the double doors of Target, probably looking like Pigpen from Charlie Brown's Peanuts with a little dirt cloud over my head. And then she spotted me. She, of the blonde hair and the tan skin and the shining eyes, who was changing out new fruit for old fruit. Right away, she turns to me and she goes, "You want a clementine?" Real cheery. And I said, "No, thank you very much. Thanks, though." And I pushed my cart a little further, and she goes, "They're a little like oranges, a little like tangerines. Are you sure you don't want one?" Impossibly cheery. And I said, "No, that's all right. Thanks." And I'm thinking, I'm going to get over to the meat section. So I push my cart a little bit further, and she tries one more time. She goes, "They're free." I'm thinking, are you kidding me? And then that inner mother that follows me around says, "Would you stop it? Just push your cart over there and eat a freaking clementine. What's wrong with you?" So I get over there, and I find out very quickly that I'm not going to have to do much talking, which is a really good thing. She's chattering away about how she just moved back to Indiana from California, and she grew up in South Bend, and she was the only girl in a family full of boys, and they were poor, and citrus was a treat. And she said, "And I can't believe they make me change these clementines out after just 4 days." So she gives me one, an old one, and she takes one, and we peel them on the spot. And she said, "One day, when I was really sad, my dad brought just me a clementine." And I'm thinking, uh-oh, she's got my number. And she said, "I took it to the top of the highest snow hill I could find in South Bend." And she said, "I bit down on that," and she said, "it was just like biting into sunshine." And she said that, and the taste of the juice was going down my throat. And I had this shot go through me, truly, this shot. It felt like I was being bathed. It felt almost maternal, and I realized I hadn't eaten anything that morning. So I look at her, and I say, "What's your name?" And she said, "Suzie. Suzie Sunshine, maybe." I didn't say it. I thought it. I didn't say it. And I said, "Thank you, Suzie." And she said, "You're welcome. You need another one?" Very knowing look. It was a 2 clementine kind of day, I guess. But I told her, no, save that for somebody else. Okay, but what I'm about to tell you, I didn't tell her. And that is that the taste of fresh oranges reminds me so much of my late mother that when I'm feeling that grief wash over me again, I can't drink it. It goes back to a memory I had when I was a very young child, and she had squeezed some fresh oranges, and she poured it, and I had this transcendent feeling of joy, the kind you can't will, just happens. Suzie didn't know that, but it was known. All she knew is that somebody really sad walked through the doors, and she wasn't going to let them get away without making a connection. I want you to get something in your mind. I want you to think of a golden thread that looks very, very delicate, but it's the strongest thing in existence. This thread weaves from me to you, and you to each other, and back to your family and your friends, the people you've loved and lost, the people you find difficult to love, especially then. And it weaves through in this mystical mosaic to places of war and places of peace and through absolutely everything. And here's the piece about the golden thread, which I believe is real. It shows up best in the dark. Most of the time we're not even aware, but that's when it shows up. When you feel like things are unraveling, when you feel like you're just hanging on by a thread. If you look for it, you'll start to see it everywhere. It's real, and it also happens between people. I believe we get what we need. And I got what I needed kind of through that golden thread taste of orange juice. I got it that day. Suzie had no way of knowing this. She had absolutely no way of knowing. But what she showed me is that kindness begets love, and love overcomes fear every single time. We can do that for each other. We can do it at the gas station. We can do it at the bookstore. We can do it at the grocery store. She did that for me with a 4-day-old box of fruit she'd been told to throw away. Thanks.